Welcome back, everybody, to the BeatPak Podcast, your go-to show for upcoming artists and creatives. My name is Nathan, a.k.a. Loco Moco. Whether you're on your morning commute, getting your steps in, or you're tuning in for today's guest, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Today, we are, as always, we're at the Future Studios OC, the best studio in Southern California. We'll talk a little bit more about them in a bit. But without further ado, let's get into today's guest. Today we have a singer, songwriter, and performer based in Los Angeles. Originally from the UK, he's been involved in music and the arts for most of his life. In celebration of the drop of his breakout single, Mr. Suave, for his solo career, everybody please welcome Chase Martinez.
What's up, gang?
Yo, man, thank you so much for being on the pod. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Wow, I'm honored.
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, so obviously shout out Mr. Charlie Marshall for connecting us.
That's broski
if you guys,
right there.
Yeah, exactly. If you guys have been here from the beginning, you know that Charlie was actually one of my earliest guests. And so the fact that, we're all getting connected too, I'm meeting, his peeps, he's meeting mine, it's cool to see the network building up. So
yeah,
it's great to have you on, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, breakout single, I was reading through your, just doing some research on you, man. You've been making music for a long time. You've been doing it, been doing this for a long time. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 26.
26, got you. Okay, so I know you've been doing it for a minute. So let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to, I know we said you were originally from the UK, but you were born in the Philippines.
That's right. I was born there. Bruh. But yeah, I came to the UK when I was 8 years old.
Got you.
And pretty much grew up there.
Sure.
So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Right. So you're just born in the Philippines, but moved to the UK when you were pretty young. So, do you have any distinct memories from the Philippines at all, or?
You know what? I have glimpses where I feel like most of my life has been in the UK.
Right.
But like, since it's so it's like halfway, it's like I get confused where I'm really from. It's like
It merges together a little bit.
yeah,
right?
it merges together a little bit, and it's hard to kind of tell which one's which, even though they're very different places.
Sure.
Kind of feels like one place sometimes.
Right. When you think back of memories when you were younger, sometimes you think, oh, was that in the UK or was that in the Philippines? Like something like that? Got you.
Yeah.
I feel that too, man. I'm originally from Chicago. And so I moved there. I moved to here when I was 7. So same kind of thing. Sometimes I'm like, man, did this happen in Cali or did this happen in
confusing.
Chicago? Yeah, it gets mixed up a little bit, especially when you're moving around that young. But okay, so you moved so when you're 8, moved to the UK. Now, as far as singing and just the arts go in general, were you introduced at a very young age? Like, were your parents like pushing you to sing and perform?
You know what? My parents always said that I've been singing since like I was 3 years old. Now, I don't have any physical evidence to back up that case.
Sure.
It's either they're telling the truth, or they're just saying that for, confidence boost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Is that blind faith a little bit?
No, sure. I mean, but I know. It's funny you said that. Shout out DJ Maz. I just had him on here. He actually said the same thing that he.
Oh, really?
He won a singing competition in the Philippines when he was 3. So it's like it seems like a lot of the Philo kids they just start singing when they're super young.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just in the genetics. We're just bred to sing.
Yeah, but it's like so specific. Like it's a specific ethnic. Filipinos.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah, I can't tell you, man. It skipped me, now. So I'm
It's in there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, my voice. Maybe that's why I'm a podcast host now. But yeah. So, were they encouraging you to sing then? Like when at a young age, were you like putting in classes and stuff like that?
No, I've never had any classes. It was more of the one distinct memory that I can remember is more of a survival kind of thing. Like I grew up in pretty much like my first 8 years. It was back and forth Manila and Batangas, but in terms of music, I distinctly remember Batangas, where I wasn't exactly being forced or being put out there. It was more like I was winning sing competitions just so my family can eat.
Gotcha. Oh wow.
Yeah. Now, shout out to my auntie at the hotel. She would say like, when I visited Philippines in 2019, she was like, "Hey, everyone knows you're here." And in my head, right, I thought it was like, cause Batangas is like, when you're from first world country, it's kind of like you're the talk of the town. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I was like, oh, that's fair enough. I guess everyone knows me. And she was like, no, everyone remembers you as when you were 6 years old, as winning competitions and using that money so you can feed your family. And apparently, from my auntie, right? She would say like, "Oh, you guys are hungry, guys. I got it. I'm gonna win this, and we're gonna eat."
Wow.
I was 6, apparently.
Saying that.
I don't remember that.
Jesus Christ.
It's the confidence, bro.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? A 6-year-old body, bro.
Yeah.
And then me actually doing it. I said it and I did it. And I
That's
fed my
crazy.
family.
That's incredible, dude. Yeah. And
That's crazy.
Who would you know 20 years later that you'd still be killing it too? Like
Yeah.
that's incredible.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it truly is, man. That's not something that you hear every day, but to hear that, I mean, that's super inspiring.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's like I kind of relate to that to like when people like box, when people like boxers are like fighting to just to feed their family, like similar situation.
Yeah.
So, but wow, man, you really that really is crazy, man. That's crazy. Sorry, I'm a little lost for words. So congratulations, man. I'm glad you guys are in a better position now.
No, thank you.
So going across, piggybacking on top of what you were just saying, what were some of your what were some of your earliest inspirations when it came to singing?
You know what? I'm gonna be real with you. It was like some big ass like vocalists in the Philippines back then. Like you remember Regine Velasquez, Sara Geronimo. Yeah. And at that time, it was like a lot of like Whitney Houston and all of that stuff. Like that was the influence as a child, right? That's why like most karaoke's these days are like Whitney Houston and fucking all of that stuff. That's the era that I grew up in. And over time, obviously, you go to a different country, you get new influences.
Right.
But from growing up in the UK, I would say probably like Michael Jackson.
Gotcha.
Beyonce, Justin Bieber.
Sure, totally.
I looked up to those people and the way they sing, their passion, and their work ethic as well.
The work ethic for sure. They were making it happen for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, those are probably one of the greatest, greatest pop icons of our generation. So
facts.
Yeah, I could totally see. I mean, yeah, for sure. Justin Bieber, all the names you mentioned, like, yeah, I could totally see myself taking inspiration for a lot of those people. So I get you, man. I get you. Now, was the rest of your family creatively orientated too, or was it kind of you just leading the way?
No, bro, I was kind of lost for words for a minute because I was tracking back.
Yeah.
So my mom was a singer in Japan. So she did the same thing where she became a singer so she can feed her family. Yeah. And my dad played the guitar.
Gotcha.
So I'm kind of like the mixture of both. But luckily, I grew up with my sister who also sings.
There you go.
I started singing at 3 years old and she started singing at 4. So we kind of grew up like
together, doing it together. That's incredible,
Pretty
man.
much.
Yeah, that's love, man. I mean, to be surrounded by a lot of creative influence must be super. I mean, I bet you guys were sitting there around the house, like you guys were.
You know what? It was a pretty loud house, but I'd say I'm the loudest. I gotta say.
Gotcha.
Even though like I'm surrounded by talented people, like my family, I definitely inherited the passion, bro. Like you cannot shut me up.
There you go.
You cannot shut me up.
Well, that's
bro.
super important in today's age for sure. Like you got to be your biggest advocate, and you got to be your biggest fan too. So it's incredible that you got that in you, man.
Thank you.
Cool, man. So you moved to. So I know we were talking a lot about Philippines. So you moved from the Philippines to the UK, and then how long were you in the UK for?
So in the UK, I probably how old am I now? 26. So I got there when I was 8. How many years is that?
So you just moved to the States recently?
Oh, I've been to the States for like specifically Los Angeles for like 3 months now.
Wow. Yeah. And then just like as a permanent resident, like you plan on staying here for a while?
Yes.
Gotcha. So you've been there since 18 years? So
something like that.
Wow.
I'm terrible at maths. I don't inherit the Asian genes.
No worries. So 18 years you've lived in the UK. So let's talk about just like the music culture in the UK for a little bit. I know right now it's like obviously UK drill is super popular. What are some subgenres or some other genres that are really popular in the UK that maybe don't get the spotlight?
To be honest with you, it was like, I have to say probably our R&B.
I've heard a lot about that actually. I've heard a lot about UK R&B.
You know what? It's don't get me wrong, R&B is R&B.
Sure.
Right? But it's something about, like singing in our accent. Like,
yeah, totally.
And then hearing it sing from the heart, it's very underrated in my opinion.
Yeah. I have yet to really. It's funny you say that. Shout Shout out Caleb. Yeah, I had him on the pod about a month ago.
Oh, yeah?
But I was asking like what his favorite upcoming genre was, and he was saying UK R&B. He was saying the
Let's
same
go.
thing. So yeah,
Let's bring it up.
it's definitely coming up, man. Who are some of your favorite artists in that from the UK right now?
From the UK, if I'm being honest with you, it's more of favorite artists in the UK. I'm kind of old fashioned, to be honest. Like, as of right now, I'm not. Yeah, I'm definitely old fashioned. I don't really keep up to date in terms
I feel
of.
you like what you like and you stick to it.
Yeah, like I mean, call me old fashioned. Adele. Like,
Gotcha.
I grew
for
up
sure.
with a lot of Adele.
Hell yeah.
Ed Sheeran. Like that's
Yeah.
one of my main influences, actually.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Shout out Ed.
No, yeah, just listen to your. We'll talk about more about your song, your new single in a bit. But yeah, I could definitely see a lot of the influence from it.
Yeah.
Which is probably why it's so good. So
Yeah, for sure. Because that was our version of the soul.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, so that was like UK for what it is, like in terms of like singing from the heart and stuff. Like, you know, Ed
Gotcha.
Sheeran, even though like he proved so much within his career and stuff, like it was a soul and it transcended through his music. And I was inspired by that shit. bro.
Totally. Yeah, I would love to see. Obviously, shout out Ed Sheeran. I'd love to see his concerts are crazy too. I'd love to see him in
Oh
concert.
yeah, I haven't been.
I've never been either, but I just see clips of it online, and it's just
really?
like he does everything right off a loop station live with his guitar, and he's just crazy. He's crazy.
crazy.
He's been in the game for so long, and he's done so many things that we don't really see. But
Yeah.
he's up there for sure as far as inspirations. But
Facts.
that's solid, man. Yeah, I mean UK. I've never personally been to London or like UK in general. Like,
Oh, yeah?
but I would love to go though soon.
Dude, you're gonna love it. Like
yeah.
London is my city. So if you
Yeah.
ever go there, you know
Yeah.
who to hit up.
For sure. I know. I actually
got
got shout out Ollie Lecluse. He's one of my boys in London that I've been talking to for a minute. But yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So now, I know it's reading up on you, but I guess I'll just ask you personally. Sure. When did music and singing go from being just a hobby to being something that you could do professionally?
Wow, broski, I got a story for you.
Yeah, whatever you want to share. I know we want to make sure that everything's cool with you, but yeah, whatever you want to share. Yeah,
For sure. So it's kind of like a brief story, right? Sure. I'll give you that version. So I remember I was like 16 and I was studying health and social level 3 because I wanted to be a paramedic.
gotcha.
When I say my parents wanted me to be in the medical field.
We know that. And
I wanted to spice up a little bit. Instead of a nurse, I'll be like, you know what, let me be a paramedic. You know, I don't want to be too predictable, but I still have that little bit of spice. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. Switch it up a little.
That was my way of thinking, right? And then I think when at that time when like everything was like declining, my eyesight got bad at that time, and
Oh man.
and the only thing I had, and I was working at McDonald's at that time as well, so I was like, when I couldn't see, obviously I was giving out the wrong change and I was accepting fake notes. Anyway,
Really? Jesus. I know that. Look at me, glasses, thick lenses.
right?
I get it.
You know what? Like, sick, because you are doing the right thing right now. I should be wearing my glasses right now. I'm just insecure as fuck.
Nah, I get you, man. I get you. You gotta do what you gotta do.
But yeah, going back from that, it was more of like, all right, cool. So my college course isn't happening. My job's not working. So I was just stuck in my room, and then the only thing I had was my guitar.
Gotcha.
And I was like, you know what, let me just sing my heart out. And then I kept singing and watching videos to the point where I was just like, I kind of want to take this seriously.
Yeah.
So I came downstairs once to my mom and dad, my Filipino parents.
Yeah.
I told them, hey, I'm going to be a singer. They're like, ha! Good one, son.
Oh man.
So what happened was, long story short, my uncle is from London, right?
Yeah.
And I told them that I wanted to go to London, and they immediately denied me. Let's just say that.
Gotcha.
So there was this opportunity that was presented to me. My uncle just came back from the Philippines and his family.
Gotcha.
And he was asking my dad if we can pick them up. And I was like, oh, Dad, let me come with you.
Yeah.
The night before, bro, I packed my shit. 3 a.m., put it in the back, and then we picked them up, got in London. I got to the airport, got to my uncle's place, and then, yeah, my parents saw me put out a suit, and then they just knew what that meant.
Yeah.
Because they don't realize how serious I am. Yeah. That was just the beginning of the journey, right? That's when I knew. I was like, wow. I didn't even realize it at the time. I realized it when I got there in London.
Right.
Like, bruh, I'm really serious about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I really want to make my dreams happen. And I was like, dude, I was like, it was like, I was 3 weeks, just turned 17.
Wow.
I was like, bro, I left everything I knew. Like, I didn't even realize until I got there.
Right.
When my
right.
parents left, and I'm like,
shit, I'm really here. I'm really here.
yeah, I'm really here. So that was a moment for me. Like, it wasn't necessarily the being on stage or like singing a certain song. It was an action that I took.
Yeah.
And it was like a realization after that, which is kind of funny, which is kind of what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, just taking another big leap. Yeah, that's incredible, man. Where were you living before you lived in London?
I was living in West Sussex in Bognor Regis. Shout out Bognor Regis.
Gotcha. How far is that from London?
I'd say about a 3-hour drive.
Gotcha.
But it's all the way down south where the beaches are, but it's a province. And,
Sure.
you know, it's a very white area.
For sure. Like a rural, more rural too, I imagine. Like,
Yeah.
going on.
You know, you're the only like Filipino as well. I was
Sure,
one of the few Filipinos in my school, and
that.
you know, like small villages, small-minded people.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it's just the culture. I can't really blame them, but
Yeah,
that was my environment, bro.
Yeah, man. And then you made that huge step. Now, were you still in high school when you made that big step, or were you already graduated?
Well, I was turning 17, so at that time, I think the school system is
Might be a little
quite
bit
different.
Yeah, I think maybe we were.
Yeah, so I was in my first year of college. Like I said, I was doing my health and social care level 3 at that time.
I see.
After my first year, I got a pass. I didn't get the highest grade, but
For sure. Hey, he's made it happen. That's all you gotta do.
I made it happen.
Yeah, exactly. So, man, okay, so turned 17, moved to London, and then gotcha. And that's kind of when you were like, Leo, let's go full force.
Pretty much, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, okay, cool. Yeah, so let's just jump into that real quick. Then I guess that might be that. Was that you were a part of a band called If You Dare?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Tell me that story. What was that? What was that like? Getting to be a part of that.
It's actually connected to me moving to London.
Gotcha.
Because keeping in mind, I just decided to go to London. I have a family member there, took advantage of make use of what I got.
Gotcha.
And I had no direction. So that step led me into being casted into a boy band.
Right.
Yeah, my manager just saw me singing YouTube videos online, and then we met, and that's probably one of the best times of my life so far.
Really.
So I mean, don't get me wrong,
Right.
me being here, I'm having the best day. The fuck you mean? But I'm saying, like, you know, because we were casted together when I was 19.
Right.
And, you know, that was my first professional experience in the music industry. Because before I was kind of feeling my way.
Sure.
But
That's huge.
When I was taken in, I've learned so much. I shared the experience as well. That's one of the best things about being in a band, because, you know, at that time, when you're not too confident, but you can be confident, like when you have off days, you can hide behind someone. You know
No, for sure. Yeah. And then when you have regardless, even if it's a band or a team, like you're able to work with each other through things.
Exactly. And the best part was, like, you get to share the experience.
Yeah. 100%.
So, like, that was like the pinnacle point of where I am right now.
Yeah,
you know?
that's incredible, man.
It's like a foundation.
Was it? Yeah, because if I think back, like 7 years ago, 2015, 2016. Yeah, like that was probably around the time that boy bands were really big.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. That's incredible. Now,
thank you.
Was it a case where how many was it? 4 others, or 5, including you?
There's 5 of us.
5 of us. Got you all together. Yeah. Now, was it a case of where you guys didn't know each other and then you guys got like put together, like how like One Direction happened, like how like Simon put everyone together?
Pretty much. That's very on point.
Yeah.
Pretty much. We were casted. It's weird to say. It was weird saying it at that time, but we were casted to be friends.
Yeah.
It's so weird to say that, but it's true. You know.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it was, and we made it work at that time.
Got you.
It was fun.
Got you, for sure, man. Yeah, it's we always talk about on this show about having people around you to give you influence, and because sometimes, for sure, like I'm part of a producer collective. Shout out my boy Jay Bud. I was a music producer before I was a podcast host.
Oh wow!
But yeah, it's so good to be a part of a team, because not only do you have an opportunity to work with other people, but also like sometimes when I make a beat or I make a song, I'll send it over to somebody and they'll be like, oh, well, what if you do this? I'm like, oh, I never thought of that. Like, let me take inspiration from people that I trust.
Yeah, exactly. And like, not only that, on top of that, you're naturally in the same wavelength.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's not much words needs exchanging.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
especially
an understanding.
Yeah, you spend enough time around people, you start to, I think there's a saying like you become like the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So you surround yourself with hardworking, creative people. It's a recipe for success.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, bro. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Now, let's talk about. I know you just you've been in LA for about 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
What was the point into where you're like, you know what? Let me jump into a solo career. Let me move out to LA.
It was when I would say it was just more in terms of like I just want to be able to express myself because you have to keep in mind I was in a band for a long time. I had to kind of like put up like a image in a sense.
Sure.
I was actually I forgot who I was telling it to, but because in a sense, throughout those years when we were touring and we were doing music videos and interviews, like behind the camera, being in a boy band, I was living a life, bro.
Yeah.
Like I was growing. I was finding out who I was. I was finding out what I wanted, like even with like my love life, like women.
Yeah.
So like behind cameras, even though I had to portray this, this kind of innocent look in a sense, like I was living a life, bro. And then there was just a point where I fell in love with songwriting, and I didn't really pay attention to like what I could do in terms of like talent and stuff. Like I realized like I'm an artist and I want to be able to express myself, and I didn't realize I had so much to say until I started writing. Yeah. So that was kind of like the moment for me where it was more of a decision based on self-discovery.
Sure, totally.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I think, that's incredible, man. That's a great way to put it. I think in life, and this is something that I really had to start understanding for myself too, is that some relationships, like with people or with things or with hobbies or whatever, some things are just meant to come into your life, teach you a lesson, and then move on.
Yeah, it's just the way it is.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. I have so much love for the boys to this day, and I wish them the best of luck and the best of success. And bro, they're hella talented.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for sure.
But like I had to pay attention to myself and invest in myself. And,
yeah, for sure. I think I think it's really, really important. I hope to God this doesn't get taken out of context, but I think it's really, really important to be a little selfish sometimes in that way. Like, yeah, you want everyone to win, but at the same time, you got to eat too.
Yeah, exactly. It's investing in yourself. When you become more, you give more.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's my focus right now, is that making sure that I'm not selfish where I'm putting anyone down. Yeah. It's more of a reciprocation where, like right now, I'm so lucky that I've attracted people who wants to help me with my goals and my visions. Yeah. And that's because I invested in myself.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
100%.
First and foremost. But then it became, over time, the fact that I'm here having this conversation with you, that's already a ripple effect of what I did and the decision that I made.
100%.
So definitely like investing in yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You have to. That's well said, man. Thank you for sharing that, man.
Thank you.
So let's jump into, fast forward now to around 3 months ago, I guess. Mm-hmm. You're making the decision to move. Prior to moving, did you know anybody here, like just through social media or?
Well, before I met my manager Charlie, I call him Kuya, by the way. Kuya means big brother in Tagalog for my non-Filipino followers. Before I met Kuya, I know a few people here because I've been to LA a few times. One because of the boy band and stuff. So I know at least 2, 3, or 4 people.
Gotcha.
But when I moved here, it was through direct linked with Queer Charlie, where literally he just believes in me and my vision. So I was like, all right, bet. Yeah. let me come there.
That's love, man. That's huge, bro. I think a big part of this industry is people taking chances on each other. Like I think a big reason why I know so many talented people that just don't know the right people to get in front of, right? Because and in turn they don't have people that can take chances on them.
Right.
So like, obviously, big shout out to James from Future Studios. He's taking a chance on me to do this podcast and bring in people to talk to, and it's just love, because he's obviously done so much more, and these other big higher ups have done so much more, and he doesn't really get anything out of me doing the podcast other than that.
It's that belief,
exactly, the belief, that someone believes in you, and so
that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you, man. But I mean, same thing with you. I mean, you got a team around you now. I know you guys are doing a lot of cool things. We'll get into some of those things in a bit. But yeah, dude, it's I think it's great that you have people that are willing to take that chance on you, man. So
thank you. I'm grateful.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I'm glad you're here, bro. I'm glad you're here. Can't wait to see some more of you.
Thank you.
In the future. Let's jump into I know on your I was just reading through some of the notes that Charlie sent me, and he was saying that you have some experience partnering with some pretty big brands. You cool with talking about that? You want to talk about that a little bit? So I know I see like Kurt Geiger, Puma, Selfish by Hiram. Like, want to talk about how your experiences were working for those brands and how they helped your career out?
You know what? It was actually pretty unexpected because there was a point where I was doing a lot of influencer stuff.
Gotcha.
I mean, I'm still an influencer in a sense, but in terms of like making content and giving shout out. But when these brands reached me out, it was very surreal because, like, for example, one of my very first big ones, it was Super Dry, right?
Yeah.
And, in the UK, I kind of grew up with that. So the fact that they wanted to work with me and make content with me, that was an insane thing to me.
That's a huge partnership.
Yeah, and like my uncle, the one I moved in with in London, like, growing up with him in London, he was kind of wearing Super Dry and stuff. So the fact that he was getting free stuff from me, I don't know if I should be saying that, but the fact that he got some stuff from me, in a way to say thank you, like it's like a full circle moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And it was like a moment from there, like Puma, like they sent me a bunch of stuff, all because like my name was popping at that time.
Yeah.
And Kurt Geiger, which is huge in London.
Yeah,
I've seen a few Kurt Geiger stuff here.
Exactly.
And yeah, I was just like, wow, they really see something in me. So like, yeah, I was so gassed, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Was that kind of like I'm doing something right?
Yeah, in a sense, because like, don't get me wrong, like validation, maybe not validation, but getting recognized with music is one thing, but like getting recognized, being influential, like as a person, huge. As a brand, as all that stuff, like that was new to me. So I'm like, bruh, I gotta keep this going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's got to be like probably one of the coolest things, to see. And I get the same thing like when people just recognize your greatness and like it's like, man, like they see it, like I must be doing something right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
fantastic.
It's almost like a wow, like I'm really onto something, and in a sense, I was right. You're right.
Yeah, exactly.
You're in the right energy, and you're staying in that energy. You know what I'm saying?
It's got to be that way, man. It's like I feel like especially when you get that kind of validation, you're like, oh man, okay, I'm destined for this. Let me keep going.
Exactly. It's weird saying validation because technically, like you don't.
I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? I know what you mean. But like, it's that sense of like, whew.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I won't lie, and I think more and more it's getting more recognized that as creatives in general, there's low points for sure, moments of uncertainty, moments of points where we're nervous about the future and the unknown, right? Because what we're doing is a big risk, right? I mean, I think everyone knows that, but also at the same time, when we see people like, hey, keep going, you're doing good, like it brings you up. It brings you up for sure.
It's that like, one comment, like. You don't know.
I'm good for the rest of the year.
Exactly.
For the rest of the year. I don't. That's all I need. But yeah, man, that's love for sure.
Definitely.
We'll talk about some dream collabs in a bit, but let's move on to the segment of the hour, which I know we were. Big congratulations to you, man, with your breakout single, Mr. Suave.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Thank you.
So that just dropped on August 11th. Tell me about the writing process and the inspiration behind the song.
Yes. So, when I was writing this song, I was kind of in a state where I was like, you know what, let me switch up a little bit. Because keeping in mind, I was pretty young when I wrote this song.
Gotcha.
And I was in a band as well. So the image of everyone has of me is in my head.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? That was the image of, because I was in a boy band, so like I would see that as myself too at that time.
Gotcha.
But there was a part of me where I was like, let me switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Cause
what was your image, if you don't mind me asking? Like this, the pretty boy, like the innocent one.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. Because I'm in a boy band. Out of all, in the band, people consider me like the most humble, the nicest, the sweetest. You know what I'm saying?
I see.
But then something about me was just like, you know what? Let me switch it up a bit. I remember I literally pressed record on my iPhone and I said, let's make a pop song, right? I mean, just switch it over. And I was playing guitar, right? And then I just came up with some melodies, and then one thing led to another. And I realized I had a whole side of me that I was really expressive about naturally.
Sure.
And it's weird to say at that time because you're young, you're trying to find out who you were.
Yeah.
And I was very, us, fellows are like we're just naturally passionate. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Either with music or the way we speak or work ethic. Our work ethic is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is incredible.
So our nurses go hard. Shout out the nurses.
Yeah.
Fellow nurses.
Yeah, working 18, 20-hour shifts.
Facts.
Yeah,
With a smile on their face.
The nicest people north.
Beautiful. So for me, writing that, it was let me just think about this for a minute.
No worries.
I found out that, I am a very passionate guy. I'm very expressive.
Sure.
And then when I wrote this song, if I'm being honest with you, I wrote it as if it was, I was very innocent at that time.
Gotcha. And you wrote it as if you weren't.
I wrote it as if I weren't. And you know what's something crazy?
Yeah.
That shit turned into a manifestation. Bruh.
I feel that. That's hilarious.
Damn, Mr. Suave, bro. Now that it's out, I don't even know if I should be saying this. I'm just too honest, bro. But when I was, because no one knew about this song, and in the band, everyone knew this song except everyone else, because it wasn't released. I was getting a decent amount of attention, but now that it's out, I don't know what's coming from me.
Yeah. It is really funny. So you've had this song recorded for a while then.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And then, so coming to LA, is that kind of what made you decide, let's drop this? Let's make this my first.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
pretty much. It was more of kind of similar to what I was saying before going to London when I was 17. When I moved here, when I came to LA with Queer Charlie, I had no direction. Again, it's I'm repeating the same thing as I did when I was 17, right? And one of the first things that came up, it was what would I say? What would I want to say? Not just as a person, but as an artist, in my art,
Right.
How do I want to be myself without trying to be like everyone else?
Right.
So Mr. Suave was kind of the first one, and it's the first song that I've written, actually. It's the first song that got me falling in love with writing. I'm like, oh, I have so much to say.
Sure.
Did I just say that? Oh, okay, bet.
Yeah, no,
so
for sure.
That was kind of so when I said new sound, new era, I literally mean a whole different side of me where I get to just express it.
Gotcha. Yeah, doing your thing, making sure that it's the real you is shown.
Yeah.
Now,
exactly.
I know you use. Excuse me, Jesus. Sorry. Future Nathan, cut this out. I got something in my throat. That's weird.
My God.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
Okay. So I know you speak and you incorporate two different languages, right, in the song. It's English and Tagalog. Sorry. When I hear Mr. Suave, I automatically think Spanish. But then and I'm listening to it, I'm like, it sounds like Spanish, but it also sounds like Tagalog. So
interesting you say that.
Yeah. What was your inspiration to use both the languages?
Purely for that exact same reason of what you said.
Yeah.
You thought it was Spanish, right?
Yeah.
But it's actually Filipino.
Yeah.
Because, bruh, when I put this song together, I was thinking in a sense of how do I make it different? We hear a lot of things these days. And at that time I was hearing, obviously, JB was popping. I mean, he's still popping.
Still is.
Yeah. But I was like, I want to be, how do we switch it up, right? So I was writing this, and I realized after I've written it, I designed this song
Right.
to kind of break the system in a sense. Because, you know, it's kind of like it will spark a conversation.
Yeah.
For the fact that you said it sounds Spanish, but it's Tagalog, that's going to spark a conversation. Want to know why? Because Philippines was colonized by the Spanish for 400 years, right?
That's very true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, you know, our language is mixed in with the Spanish, including genetics. Like, bruh, like, people, don't get me started with what people think I look like. Even my fellow Filipinos don't think I'm Filipino, which is so funny.
That is kind of crazy. You
It's
do look
so
very
funny.
Filipino. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm almost offended that you said that because I don't hear it a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad you said it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do look Filipino. That's really
Thank
what do you get mistaken for?
Honestly, Korean, like Japanese, even half white, bro. Like I'm not lying. Kuya was there. I thought you were half white. I'm like, bro.
That's funny, man. You know, now that you do say, man, I do know a lot of Filipinos that do get mistaken for like Korean and Japanese. I do see that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's kind of why I put the song together to kind of like I don't even know if I'm allowed to swear here.
Do your thing, dude.
Yeah, to kind of like fuck up the system in the most healthy way, because like it gets people talking, and at the same time, in a sense, it's putting Filipino on the map. Let's just say that
for sure, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
I actually really love that. You obviously, Mr. Charlie, you guys are really pushing the Filipino culture, which I feel like is a really underrated culture that doesn't really get a lot of limelight. And so the fact that artists like you, you know, obviously, like a bunch of others that are coming up right now, making waves, are really pushing it. It's love. It's love for sure. And
Definitely.
I could definitely see it being like the next K-pop, you know, in the next few coming years.
Definitely.
So, which is awesome, man. That's awesome. That's fucking incredible. Thank you for sharing that story, man.
Thank you.
Let's go on to before we move on to the next segments. Let's talk about you as an artist. Now, would you say that Chase Martinez is Mr. Suave?
I smiled too much. Are we on camera? Shit. You know what? I have to say, it's really weird to say, and I don't know if it's normal as an artist. Mr. Suave kind of became his own person in a sense.
Got you.
Because it's
kind of like an alter ego type of thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's unexpected because when you hear the song, it's pretty. I would say it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But it's showcasing a lot of confidence and a
100%.
lot of like presence. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Without, it's not negative confidence. It's like
it's not cockiness. It's you're just confident. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just I'm here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Mr. Suave, he's okay. First of all, the ladies. let's just leave it at that, right? And secondly, it's just this confidence that he has. It's almost like he switches on whenever there's parts of me that kind of doubts myself in a sense or stutters a little bit, and I'm like, bruh. It's kind of like when you're smiling and you're like.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You turn it on and off.
That
right?
that Mr. Suave is just you'll fall for him, bro.
That's
You know what I'm saying? Like, and he knows it as well.
Yeah.
And he knows that he's not trying hard.
Yeah.
So it's the little things that he does, but he knows what he's doing.
Gotcha.
But it's very subtle. It's confidence, but you'll fall for him.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you, man.
That's so weird. I'm talking about him like that. He's not even.
He's not even here. He doesn't exist.
Or is he?
Does. Or is he? Ooh. Oh. He just switched it on right there. He just turned it on right there. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I can't wait to hear. Obviously your next coming. I know you're probably working on like a bunch of new music. I'm really excited to see how you tie those themes in, like how Chase meshes with Mr. Suave. So can't wait to hear those things coming from you next.
Yes, sir.
I
mean, you're gonna.
But yeah, dude, let's go on to our next segment. It's gonna be the tips and tricks segment.
Okay.
So obviously this podcast is not only to highlight your successes, but also to give advice to some smaller artists and creatives. And you've obviously done a lot, right? You've done a lot as a 26-year-old, more than most 26-year-olds, let's be honest. So,
Oh, wow. Thank you.
But let's jump into it, man.
For sure.
So first and foremost, maybe something that you probably have the most experience in, songwriting. Do you have any tips and tricks that help you write songs and get your creative ideas out there?
Yeah. So for me, this come all from experience.
Yeah.
So I ain't no fucking guru, but you can call me a guru if you want. You know what I'm saying? Suave guru.
Guru Suave.
Hashtag Guru Suave. But shit, that was him right there.
Yeah, there it is. He just comes out.
He just came out, bro.
Yeah.
You see that shit, right?
Yeah. We had live on camera. We got our recording.
I'm not tripping. So for me, what I do is I literally have it all written down in my notebook. Like, it looks like a textbook. I have a little bit like OCD as well, so like I try to make it very, very neat. So that's my personal reminder. So what I do is I want to sit down. I may have an idea, like a sound that I'm going for, or I don't.
Sure.
So what I do if I don't, most of the time I don't. I just pick up my guitar and I'm like, all right, let's write this.
Sure.
Let go of the outcome.
Yeah.
Completely. Do not judge every lyric. Eliminate judgment. And secondly, like I said, eliminate the outcome. And thirdly, so what I do personally is I finish the song. I don't just finish writing it, bro. What I do is I produce it. I do the vocals. I do the ad-libs,
and
all of that
everything.
stuff.
Gotcha.
All of that stuff. And then I play it a week later and I turn it off and then I start something new again and then I play it. I play the song again a week later. Then I'll decide if I like it or not. Because now that the song is done, someone else might like it.
Right.
So now you have a catalog of songs. It may not be for you, it may be for someone else.
Sure, exactly.
But it's that creative process where you don't judge yourself.
Right.
You know
You
what
leave
I'm saying?
yourself open to every possibility.
Exactly. You don't give any chances.
I see.
Open to every possibility. So when I finish that song, fully produced, and like I've done the vocal arrangements and all of that stuff, all the riffs and all that shit, then I'll be like, okay, it's not my taste, but it sounds good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It sounds good for someone else. Not for me, though.
Sure. I feel that. Yeah.
That shit cheesy, though, but it could be good for someone new or someone young.
No, I get that for sure. It's, because I don't want to say, maybe this, I think it's a good analogy, but I don't want to come off as rude, but one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah.
Right. So something you may hate, someone be like, wow, this is amazing.
Exactly. Because at the end of it, because like the field that you've entered is a world full of like, reciprocation, because that's what creative is.
100%.
Most of the time it's not for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this song that you're sick of it, right?
Yeah.
But like when you go on stage and that fan has saved up and took time off work and just to see you, just hear that song, like it's not about you anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you're definitely right.
Yeah, that's 100%, man. That's love. That's love for real, man. I love that you say that, man. It's not, sometimes when you make a song, it's not about you. It's very well said, man. Very well said.
Thank you. I just made that up. I'm kidding. Don't cancel me, bro. I'm a real person, bro. I'm sorry. I'm playing. Swavelicious is playing. I'm playing.
Oh, man, that's funny, man.
He's playing.
Yeah, they're both playing. Cool, man. So how do you, as a songwriter, how do you combat writer's block?
Writer's block, I sit down in a chair, but not this way. My head will be where my foot is.
Gotcha.
Is that weird?
So your head is on the floor almost.
Yeah, because I don't want to, since I'm thinking in a normal neural pathway, since something's blocking it, let me unblock it by doing the opposite.
Oh, so you physically try to unblock the writer's block.
Yeah.
Got you.
I feel like I'm exposing myself. But no, it's the truth. I have testimony. Like, you can ask the band members. Like, they've seen me, like, fucking do weird shit. Because, like, you gotta, if you want different, you gotta move different, in a sense. Even physically.
I haven't heard that one yet, but I'm going to have to try that because I get beat block sometimes.
Yeah.
And I've never thought about sitting upside down, but now that you say it, it might, I'm going to try it.
Yeah, it's not necessarily, I mean, you don't have to do that, but it could be easy as like, you know what? Let me take off my glasses. Let me not see and think.
Honestly, though, that might, because sometimes when I'm making music, I'm making it loud with my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm not making it with my ears necessarily.
I mean,
so yeah,
that's worth a try, right?
Yeah,
I
no,
honestly
100%.
tell Queer Charlie, no, I'm gonna take off my glasses, bro. I've seen enough today. Like, bro.
I'm gonna be completely honest here. You have just given the most unique advice on the show so far. I've never heard that, and I'm very, very interested in trying. I'm gonna go home and try it. Honestly.
No, bro, please keep me up to date.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give you my number. After
Yeah,
this.
no, I'm gonna document like day one sitting upside down. No, it's gonna
Bro,
happen.
no, everyone will follow you.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's going viral.
That's gonna blow up.
Yeah, it's going viral.
Because of
Instagram,
you.
TikTok, everywhere. I'm tagging Chase because he put me onto that. That's hilarious, man. But yeah, that's some great advice, man. Yeah, just doing something to switch up your routine. Right?
Yeah.
Switch up your routine a little bit. Because sometimes
it's a box. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you don't know that you're in a box because you're just following a system or
Yeah.
the system.
Yeah.
In the most respectful way.
The most respectful, consensual way.
Yes, consensual. The Suave in you came out,
Yeah,
bro.
hey, you know what? It's because I was listening to the song on the way here. That's why.
Oh,
that's why.
Shit, well, there we go. That's what we want, right?
But yeah, man. Cool. So thank you for the advice on some of the songwriting and some blockage.
You're welcome.
I think we're gonna get a little bit deeper on this next one. So I did read on your while I was doing research on you that your parents were not the most ecstatic when you were saying that you wanted to do music full time.
Let's just say my parents, I mean...
Which is totally normal. My parents weren't either when I was young. Yeah, it's
you'd
just
feel
normal.
that, right?
Yeah, 100%.
One, it's because out of the norm. Secondly, it's like,
it's a big risk.
It's a big risk.
Yeah.
And secondly, it's money, stability.
It's so expensive, man. It's so expensive.
It's... they're just scared for us.
Yeah. It's out of love. It's out of love for sure.
It is out of love.
Right now, like, where would you say your parents are at right now as far as your career? How do you feel about it?
My parents, they're my biggest fans, bro.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I can't tell you like how lucky I am to have
that's love, bro.
such supportive. Like, bro, like I could do some dumb shit. They're like, I'm not. It's okay. It happens. Like, you try your best, na man. It's okay. It's not believe in God. Like, no, bro,
switched up so quick.
No, for real. No, for real. Like, because to be fair, I did prove myself. I put in a lot of work in proving myself at a young age. You know, they're very skeptical and almost like, how can I say it? Like, not this. Yeah, they did this on me. But I was young, and it was out of love. Now that I'm grown and older, like, it was out of love.
Yeah, for sure.
And now they're one of my biggest fans.
Yeah, that's amazing, dude. That's amazing.
I'm so lucky.
I love hearing supportive family members.
Definitely.
What would you say was the biggest point and your biggest strategy as far as convincing your parents that, hey, like, I'm serious about this. I can make this happen.
Well, when I was young, words aren't enough.
Yeah.
I was very good at. Ever since I was young, I'm a very visual person. Sure. As well as like explaining what I want and how I want it done. Yeah. And most of the time, since you're young and that gets overlooked, and they just see the end result for you.
Yeah.
When
totally.
They don't know how serious you are. So it was more action.
Right.
You can do a lot of talking. Action does all the talking, whether 100%. You like it or not.
Results.
And I don't want to preach that you should be fully focused and obsessed with results, because that, again, that's being attached to the outcome.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm preaching. It's more of, for example, like I told you, I secretly moved to London to my uncle's house without consulting with my parents. I mean, I did consult with them, but I did it behind their back.
Sure.
That's an action.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's me proving to them in a sense. I mean, not necessarily, because there was no results as of yet.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't have any direction when I moved to London, but it was that action. Of doing it. They're like, okay. And then I started gaining results and gaining a direction. They're like, oh.
Like, maybe he's serious about this. Like, maybe, maybe he's...
Yeah, I got on TV and like, oh, and at that time, bro, my parents so witch. They're like, oh no, I'm so proud of you.
That's how they always are, man. That's how they always are.
Now they always say congratulations.
Really, dude. Yeah, I think that's the biggest hardship that a lot of kids face. I'm blessed to have a very supportive family. My dad is, has been my biggest fan. He listens to all my podcasts. He's probably watching this one. Shout out you, Dad.
Oh wow, big love.
Yeah, but he, I mean, I think it's so important to have that because, I mean, yeah, it's just another person to help you out, or to give you motivation to realize, oh man, this is the person. My family back home loves it. I got to make sure I'm doing it right. So
Yeah, exactly. And on top of that, like these are the people that you've grown in love ever since you got here in this,
on this planet.
On this planet, when you existed, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that, naturally your home would be your family. So the fact that they even get to like support you and, show appreciation and, that shit means a lot to us.
For sure.
And they don't know how much.
It means the world, man. It's sometimes like it's hard to get out of bed some mornings, but then I realize that or I'll get a text from a family member or from a friend saying, hey man, like I was just listening to your stuff. I love it. Keep going. I'm like, all right.
Goes a long way.
I'm ready. People really don't realize how much it means when someone says that they really don't. So
they don't.
That's big love, man. That's big love. Shout out to the Martinez family for raising such a good son. So.
Yeah, Dad. Mom? No, I know they're screaming right now. It's okay. I'll FaceTime you there.
Here we go. Yeah. Awesome, man. Cool. So let's jump into the next segments that I want to talk about. The next segment, some tips and tricks.
Sure.
You kind of mentioned a little bit about some of your progress and your process too. Is making that big leap of faith, man. I know you moved out of your small town to move to London. Then you moved from London all the way to the States. So it's like a 3 hour, probably like a few hundred miles now, a few thousand miles across. Mm-hmm. So it's just getting bigger and bigger. Next thing you know, you're gonna be moving to Mars. Like who knows? But what's been? How do you? Not talk yourself into it, but how do you prepare yourself to jump into those scenarios, and or are you not even thinking about like maybe the negatives? You're just jumping in, just hoping for the best.
I'm sorry. Can we manifest a show in Mars? So
yeah. Headline: Chase Martinez first show on Mars.
Yes. We are at that time.
Yeah. Shout out Elon Musk. We're gonna make it happen.
Thank you.
We're gonna make it happen.
Thank you. I would say I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah.
I don't think I've told this to anyone. I don't think I've ever told Kuya. But
you heard it here, folks, right?
It's a BeatPak exclusive.
Yeah, exclusive.
So, what I do is when I feel like something's coming, and not necessarily with my senses, it's more of what I'm feeling. Because you can feel your future even though you're not there. That's why you're working towards it, right?
Right.
So, big leap of faith. What I do is I kind of see myself outside myself. I look at myself and think I'm watching my own documentary. Okay. And I'm like, what would he do? How's he feeling right now?
Yeah.
What are you thinking? What are you scared of? So what I do, I don't know if there's any anime lovers here. I'm a big fan of Naruto.
There you go. Love Naruto.
I play one of his... Naruto is one of my biggest inspirations, by the way. I play one of the instrumentals as if my life is an anime, as if my life is a movie, right? What would I do in that moment? And then boom, I do it.
Yeah.
I'll feel the fear later.
Right.
I'll feel no regret. I don't have any regrets. Even right now, my life, I don't live my life like that.
Yeah.
I want to feel scared. I want to feel I'll feel the fear. I'll feel of the uncomfortableness, the unknown, all of that after.
Yeah.
But I know in my heart and mind that I'm doing the right thing because I'm not comfortable.
Yeah, dude. It's such a big lesson for everybody. Taking that leap and taking that. You learn so many lessons, right? You learn so many life lessons that staying where you are, being complacent wouldn't teach you. I think a big thing too is no lesson that you learned came without hardship. No lesson that you learned came without difficulty, or right. But those kind of experiences make you into a better, bigger person.
Exactly. It's not necessarily on top of what you just said. It's not. No one wants to suffer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this life, we choose our struggles.
Yeah.
And for example, like coming to LA with no direction, just because Queer Charlie just believed in me. Me being comfortable, I'm not from here, bro. I'm a foreigner here.
Yeah.
Not recognizing the brands and the food brands in fucking Walmart and all that shit. Like, like I chose to struggle.
Yeah.
And this is the life that I chose. And I'm excited to be here. I just know I need to give it time and, I'll adjust. And I chose that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or I could go home and I could still build.
Yeah.
But, is it what I want?
Right.
It's all about what you want at the end of the day.
Right.
But you have to choose your struggles.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no struggle free in this world, bro.
Yeah, you can struggle in the UK, right, trying to find the connections, or you can struggle here with like, different things, but maybe you're in the right place for what you want to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I get that, man. I think a lot of young creatives right now are on that edge. Like, man, I want to move out to the West Coast, or I want to move out to LA or New York or any of these hot spots, because most of the US is like just flyover states, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, shout out to if you live in one of those. I don't want to offend anyone, but it is true though. I mean, there's not a lot of action going on in some of these areas. So,
that also applies to like everything else, just like similar to what you said. Like, for example, like get you a kid that loves music, but then everyone's discouraging you to stop making music and everyone's telling you to shut up.
Oh, man.
It's either you choose to struggle. There's both sides, right?
Yeah.
Hear me out. There's both sides. There's one side where you are going to keep subconsciously listening to these people. So you're going to slow down your, creative process of writing to the point where you don't do it anymore. Or you can keep doing it and struggle by people just bashing you. You can make a conscious decision to
100%.
have it in one ear, out the other.
100%, man.
Even though, like you're going through it, but that doesn't mean the weight is light. It's heavy.
Yeah.
There's two struggles. So you can choose either one.
You can choose. Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's going to be there either way, but pick the one that makes you a better person on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 100%, man. Definitely. I think it's really funny when we think about that. My parents never really enrolled me. My mom tried to get me to play guitar, but they never enrolled me in any like singing lessons or anything like that. But I know a lot of Asian parents that have. Right? It's like a stereotype, and it's funny that they enroll all these kids in like singing lessons, piano, violin, whatever, and then get shocked that they want to be a musician when they grow up.
Bruh.
It's like, dude, you were literally doing.
Bro, that is so right. What the fuck? The math isn't mathing, bro. Man, the Filipino isn't Filipinoing.
Yeah, it's like we should have given me a first aid kit.
Yeah, right?
Should have given me a first.
Like out here, like pushing us and sing in front of your tita is here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, oh, your uncle drove 2 hours. Sing. At 5 years old, bro, peer pressure at 5 years old.
Yeah, the karaoke machine. Yeah, you got it going. Yeah, so
like, and then they're shook. Like, I can't believe this. I'm gonna like, I put in so much effort to make you to medical school. I'm like, bro, then why did you put me in a singing field, bro? I don't get it.
Oh man, yeah,
that is so right. Yeah. Thank you for pointing that out.
It's funny, man. It's funny.
Wow, I think it's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, but it's. I think the people because I know a lot of really talented musicians that never really pursued it, but I think that's just. Everyone has a fate. Everyone has a destination in life. I don't like to think that your fate is predestined, but everything happens for a reason. So,
for sure.
Wherever you are right now, it's where you're meant to be.
Facts. And the fact that I'm in BeatPak Podcast, bro. I'm doing something right.
We're here now, ladies and gentlemen. Cool, man. And I guess just the last tip and trick that maybe we can spread to some people. Obviously, you've been writing for a long time, being a musician for a long time. What's been your best strategies for staying motivated?
Staying motivated is, I kind of don't want to rely on motivation because it's like a fuel source, and you know what fuel does? It runs out. Yeah. Right? It's more of your why. Like, for me, my why right now is I'm in Los Angeles. I'm not from here. Yeah. No one knows me here. So I need to make noise. I need to move. Yeah. I need to work, like really grind, work harder, work smarter. Like that's my why. I mean, on top of that, like, you know, why am I doing this? Like, who am I doing it for? I'm doing it for myself because, like, you know, long story short, like, this was another segment to self-discovery. Like, this is who I am. This is what I wanted.
Right.
This is what I'm built. This is all I know.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's my why. So my advice is really find clarity on your why.
Yeah.
Now, I am not... You're watching me at an early stage, but when I get to that level of success, I will do this. I will say the exact same thing, move the exact same way.
Yeah.
But my biggest advice would be definitely configure and find very, very specific clarity on your why.
Yeah. No,
that's your motivation.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can always look back to that. Whenever you're feeling down, I'm like, oh man, maybe I don't want to do this, and then you look back at your why. And you're like, okay, now I know what I gotta do.
Exactly. And even when you're doing great, right? Let's say like when we were talking about earlier, like someone said, oh, Chase, like that song was amazing. Or like, bro, how do you feel after that? Do you feel like, all right, bet? Do you feel
this is why I do this?
Let's go, let's keep going. I want to do more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because your why is like, you know, is being reciprocated.
Yeah.
Again, it goes back to why. That is your motivation.
Yeah, for
sure. And it will never run out.
Yeah, every time someone has ever said, yeah, I listen to the pod, I love it, or man, I listen to your music, I love it, it's like, this is why I do it.
Exactly. And it makes you want to keep going, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It doesn't want to make you pause and play Netflix. They'll listen to it. Now I got money in the bag.
Yeah, no, I'm grinding. No. Yeah, I'm grinding for sure.
You're grinding, bro.
Yeah.
Because now you know, you're doing it for yourself, but also for the people that loves and, you know, and listens to this on a daily. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, no, that's love. That's so real, bro. That's so real. Yeah, you hit the head on that one. You hit on the head on that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
If I'm ever sounding like a guru, bro, just stop me because I'm not.
No, man, it's gonna be cool because then we're gonna be able to look back at this in like a year or two and be like, man, this kid really did it, and he did exactly what he preached, and look where he's at now. So
a year, Mr. Suave. What's up? You're doing great, but you know, who you dating right now? I want to know. But anyway, keep me posted, all right?
We'll see you there. That's funny, man. That's funny, man. Thanks for sharing all that.
Thank you.
Let's jump into the second to last segment of the pod. And it's going to be a little bit more fun. It's your dream collabs. So let's talk about first and foremost, like a brand that you love to collab with.
I'm sorry, you mean music or like brands in general?
So so I know you've done a lot of deals, not deals, but you collabed with like, you know, some of the brands, Super Dry, like in the past. Is there one that you're like, man, I really like, if I hit this one, this is like a huge milestone for me?
So for me, I'm just going to be ambitious.
Sure.
I want Nike.
I was going to say, I knew you were going to say Nike. That's awesome. That's hard.
Nike, I want to collaborate with, I mean, yeah, Nike's huge already because there's so many segments like
awesome.
Air Jordans. So I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, manifest it now.
You know what I'm saying? Now. Mr. Suave needs some J's, some Suave J's. You know what I'm saying?
Suave J's.
Suave J's.
See, we're manifesting the Nike deal, the show on Mars. You know, a lot of manifestations.
Yeah, all of that stuff. Like, you know, one of my biggest ones is I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. Chase Martinez X Supreme.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
all
hard.
that stuff.
That's dope too. That's been sick.
And I remember let me tell you something real quick. I'm an overshare. I apologize.
That's your thing.
I was like, I remember to one of my friends, I think I was like 17 at that time. I was like, I want to collab with Calvin Klein. I want to be sexy as fuck. I want to wear the undies and play around with the camera and be seductive a little bit. Like, I think I'm talking about Mrs. Suave right now. Yeah. And she was like, you know what? It might happen. And she said it out of doubt. Now, I'm not going to say it because it might just happen. And I'm like, bitch, the fuck? It will happen.
Yeah. Now it's going to happen.
Now it's going to happen. Like, bitch, look what the fuck you've done. What have you done? So Calvin Klein.
Yeah, it's up there. It's up there. Yeah. Chase Klein coming soon. That's
Calvin Klein X Suave.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? That will sell for sure. That was market it well. That'll sell,
bro. You know what everyone's been doing? I was in a Filipino restaurant, and you know I was I have a bunch of people there that I that really love what I do and good friends. and I was holding their ube, and then one of the customers, who's a girl, was kind of interested into like finding out who I was.
Sure.
And then she kind of became a supporter, which is later.
Cool.
We took pictures, and then she saw me holding an ube, and then everyone in the restaurant was like, "Oh my God, we should do a sponsorship or ambassador thing, like Mr. Suave, Mr. Ube, or something like that." I'm like, bruh.
Yeah.
So everyone's like connecting that together.
Yeah,
bro.
they're hopping on the trend, man. They're hopping on the trend. That's what it's about, man.
Damn.
That's what it's about. So, yeah, that's sick, dude. Yeah, I would love to see those collabs come to fruition. I could definitely see that in your future for sure. So
Thank you.
Keep an eye out for all these collabs coming soon. Let's talk about. I know we thought we were talking about that. Let's go. What about some scene collaborations? Singers, bands, producers, labels.
Yeah. So my dream collab is of all time. I mean, it's not gonna. I mean, who knows? He might have a demo somewhere. Michael Jackson.
Whoa, that would be so sick.
I mean, bro, I was so sad when he passed. But Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Beyonce.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Justin Bieber. Pink Sweats. I love Pink Sweats.
Shout out Pink Sweats. I listen to their music every day. That's awesome.
I love his music. Tori Kelly.
Okay.
I love Tori Kelly.
Hell yeah.
She's also following me on Twitter, so
There
that's
you
my
go.
biggest flex.
Coming up soon.
Yeah, we're gonna be friends soon. Probably more. No, you're married. I can't.
Oh, man.
I can't suave my way in. Someone stop this guy.
Yeah.
Hey, yo. Anyway, Tori Kelly. I've been listening to this guy. He's a Pinoy artist. His name is Zach the Budler, bro.
That's cool.
Oh my God. He is like, I love his music. So I would love to collaborate with him.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Man.
Chris Brown, bro, because I sing and dance too. Like, let me do
go.
my.
There you go. I could for sure see a Chris Brown and Chase Martinez collab.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Let's go. Putting it out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that covers lists. It's funny how a lot of your inspirations are also the people that you really want to collab with. So
Yeah.
hopefully we see that in the future. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
No, I'm betting on it.
Yeah, that'd be sick, man.
Betting on myself.
That'd be sick.
Thank you.
So we are coming towards the end of the pod. Obviously, thank you guys so much for being here. I think we had a great conversation. I loved
Bro.
getting to know you more, man. You had a great story. Great
Thank you.
story.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. We are coming to the end of the pod today. Again, Chase, thank you so much for being out here.
Thank you.
I know you have an upcoming show coming out. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So I'm opening up for David Pamaraz and Vinny Morales at the Two Hearts concert on the 16th of September.
Gotcha.
Bro,
Yeah.
like I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's gonna be sick, dude. That's gonna be really sick. I'm gonna do my absolute best to come out to that because
Yes, please come through.
Sounds incredible.
Thank
If
you.
you're watching this right now on the day it's dropped, please go grab your tickets. I'm sure the link is gonna be in your bio.
Facts.
So come out to the show. I'll be there. I'm bringing a bunch of people there too. So yeah, come out there. So that's fantastic. Is there anything else that you can talk about? I know right now you're keeping a lot of things under wraps, but do you have anything that you're allowed to talk about right now as far as music goes?
Music, definitely more on the way. I'm actually working on my second single right now,
Gotcha.
and I think it's gonna come out real soon after this podcast. Actually,
Hell yeah.
But I hope you guys like what you've heard, and yeah, you're kind of in on a journey with me. You see,
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a fun one for sure. I'll make sure of it. I'll make sure the ride is well worth your money.
Definitely.
But yeah, come stick with me. I would really appreciate all the support that you guys will give me in my music and my journey in general. And yeah, thank you so much, BeatPak Podcast, for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
No, I'm grateful that you guys came out. Give a quick shout out to your social medias too, where we can find you.
For sure. So if you want to stay up to date with your boy, aka Mr. Suave, aka your new favorite, you can follow me at Chase Martinez Music on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and all of that sweet stuff. So
there you go. You heard it here, folks. Chase, once again, thank you so much for being here. Can't wait to see what you do in the future.
Thank
and
you.
everybody still watching, thank you for sticking around too. Obviously, we had a great show. If you didn't stick to the end, what are you doing? We had a great show. So, once again, this was the new episode of the BeatPak Podcast. Chase, Loco, out. See you guys later.